Hello, welcome to my Let's Chat of the Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit. Now, this is my second time recording a Let's Chat, but it's only the first one that's getting released, because I have actually recorded Detroit Become Human, but that is not scheduled for another couple of weeks, I think. 1st of August, maybe, anyhow. Basically, the whole point is just to have a little bit of a chat about the game, things that I forgot to say while it was on and stuff like that. So I'm just going straight into it, and I want to start off with the things that I missed, because since then I've watched another playthrough and I've googled some stuff, read some people's opinions, and I found out like everything that I missed. So first of all, everything that I needed that was left to do was in the garage. And I couldn't find the key, could I? It was literally hung on a key rack near the back door. So that was silly. So that was the first thing I missed. So in the garage you find spray paint to finish your costume. You find a cabinet that's locked. And I think if you manage to get into the cabinet, you find your firecrackers, because remember you had an empty firecracker box in your room and it says your dad took them off. Yeah, well, he hid them in the garage and you use them to kill the snowman, as far as I'm aware. And then I think that was and then there were some other bits like documents and stuff, I think things to do with your mum, in the garage. And then once your costume was finished, you could get into the car and you could go on your mission to destroy Mantroid, which I'll talk a bit more about Mantroid in a little bit. The other thing that I couldn't do was get into the phone, which I think probably every single other person who played this game would have had the same problem, because there was no hints whatsoever throughout the game as to how you would, what the code would be. So basically I googled it, and I think it's like, the game is about Hot Dog Man. It was something like hot dog, but like hot dog AW in the middle, spelt as if it was on an old phone, where it's like, I can't even remember how it is now, like 1 is ABC, 2 is EFG, DEF maybe. I can't even remember my alphabet. So basically you had to spell hot dog, I think it's hot dog, in those numbers. I mean, there was no hint to that whatsoever. So that was that. Now I also missed something in the dad's bedroom. In his wardrobe, at the top of his wardrobe, there was a bag and it had some letters in, and it was a really interesting part of the story. And it shows that basically what happened to his mum. So she'd been in this car accident and the cops had I think there was no CCTV in the area or something, and the cops had shrugged it off, and his dad wasn't satisfied, so he hired a PI. And then the PI was like, well, I can't, nothing more I can do either. And it tells you that the accident happened at the intersection between Mantle Street and Asteroid Road or something like that. And at the time I didn't think anything of it. And then now that I've actually read what people were saying, was that Mantle Street and Android Road, Mantle and Android is Mandroid, and the whole supervillain in Chris's mind is the place where his mum died, and like that's his coping mechanism. And oh man, that just really got to me. I just thought it's so like genius and sad but brilliant. Like so good. And I wonder if that would be expanded on more, or like in the main game, or if I just think it's a massive shame that I didn't realise that. But I was my mind was blown when I read about that. I just thought it was a very, very cool detail. And it's very sad. Like, he's this poor kid has literally made up a whole supervillain team that stems from the place where his mother died. So moving on to the game itself, when I watched it through the second time, as usual, I watched Christopher Rodd's playthrough, and he's very good. He like found nearly everything that I didn't find. But the second time watching it, seriously, I nearly cried. It was that, I don't know why. Well, let me elaborate. It was at the end bit when his dad's shouting at him. Actually, in his playthrough, Christopher Rodd chose different dialogue options when it came to the neighbour at the end, but it still had the exact same outcome. So there wasn't like a lot of branches that could have happened, but so it always ended with the same scene. And like when he's running off crying, that broke my heart. Like, and then just when he fell, and then when he was so shocked and happy when he like didn't hit the ground, and like, oh, he just deserved that moment, bless him. See, I don't even like kids, but I'm really invested in this little kid. I just think he's adorable. Maybe it's because he's not that realistic, but I don't know. A lot of people are saying like when they were young they would play with toys, but they didn't like talk to themselves out loud the way that he did. But yeah, I don't think I did. Well, I can't remember actually, but I know that we used to create this place called Magic Island. So there was that. So I did actually have an imagination, but I can't remember. That wasn't on my own, that was with a friend, and I don't think I on my own really did it like that. I remember I always wanted my sister to play with me because it wasn't so much fun on my own, but then my sister is like way older than me, so it never really worked out like that. As for Life is Strange 2 as a game, I have actually read that Chris isn't going to be the main character or what the story follows, and if that's true, I find that such a shame, because as I say, I'm very invested in his character and his story. I did read a theory that it wasn't him that had the power at the end, it was the neighbours, those kids that waved to him at the end. And I really, really, really hope that's not right. I really dislike that theory. Just because he really deserved that moment, and I bet if you could give him, well, I was going to say if you can give him one wish, he would probably wish for his mum back. If you could give him 2 wishes, his second wish would probably to be have some kind of superpowers that he can save the world with. And I think it really takes away from his moment if it wasn't him that did it. So I really hope it was him that did it. And I want them, personally, I really want them to continue with his story. Some people were saying they weren't sure about having like the kid for the whole game. I would love that. I found it so refreshing. And again, that's coming from someone that doesn't even like kids. It was a new take on things. Like, it was innocent, like pure little kid, and it's not like kind of the angst that you get from the teenagers and all that shite. It was just, I've never played anything like it before where you've had that pureness and a fresh perspective on things, and I would enjoy, especially now that he has the powers. But again, I might be just going off on a wild tangent there because we don't actually know what's going to happen in the game. So my other idea, which I thought would be a very cool idea, now that they've established his character and his story, imagine the episodic game, right? Where each episode is from a different stage of his life. I think that would be so cool. So like the first episode there was when he was a little kid, and then it could be a teenager, and then it could be like, what's a teenager? Secondary school? Like high school? Unless he's in high school? I don't know. Anyhow, and then like young adult, which like uni, then after uni, so like 30-ish. You know what I mean? I guess there's going to be 5 episodes, so it would go up to him being an adult. Or you could do full-on life stages, so you got like young adult, like middle-aged, and then old. That would be really cool as well. Like, I think you could tell such a story through that format. I don't know that they're probably not going to do that with this game, but I would love to see that from a game, like at some point. I can't imagine a better way to go on a full journey and to get really connected with the characters. That's a hope for something in the future. If anyone ever hears about that, then let me know. I think that's all I have to say about that game. Like, I very much enjoyed it. It was only a short one. I only wanted this to be a short video, so let me know what you think. If anyone's got any theories of Life is Strange, I'll probably go back and watch this after Life is Strange 2 is out and be like, what the hell is she going on about? So that'll be fun. I can't wait to check back then. But yeah, just let me know opinions, anything like that. I don't want to get onto any of the touchy subjects like the abuse and stuff. I thought about that a lot afterwards, actually, and he was not only being physically abused but also mentally, very emotionally abused, and that is not on. I did kind of talk about that throughout the playthrough, so I'm gonna leave it there. Anyway, thanks for listening. Please tell me your opinions and stuff. I love to have a discussion with people, and thanks for watching. Bye.